Assertion of saying that we're going to express our needs, of saying that, hey, I have ideas too, and I'm going to take up space, and I have the right as a beautiful, precious, divine being on this planet, that I have rights just like everyone else, and I'm going to exert those rights and by setting some solid boundaries. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, and if this is the first time that you are tuning into my channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you and that you stopped by to check out my video. While you're here, you might as well click that like button, subscribe, and also click the ringy bell if you would like to get more of my content. So today, what are we talking about? We're talking about energetic boundaries. So if you yourself find that you have a problem with boundaries overall, with people pleasing, with saying no, with really putting up that wall, that wall of defense that says, okay, that's enough, including with yourself. If you even need to put up boundaries with your own workaholism, toxic habits, excessive cycles, anything like that, then you're going to want to hear this video today, because we're going to be talking about boundaries, but in particular, we're going to be talking about energetic boundaries. And why are energetic boundaries important in specifically to empathic individuals, highly sensitive persons, and other gifted helpers. If you are wondering, first of all, if you are empathic or an empath, highly sensitive, or a gifted helper, check out my previous video, which I will link in the description below, entitled, Am I an Empath or an HSP? So let's get into today's video. Boundaries. What even is a boundary to begin with? Well, you do a search, you'll find that a boundary is a way of expressing your needs. It's a way of expressing your thoughts. It's a way of taking up space. It's a way of saying, this is where you end and I begin. It's a way of asserting your wants and your desires and speaking up for those little versions of you, and even some of the adult versions of you that are on the inside, that we are now the protectors over, and we are the voice to speak up for. So I actually kind of went into this a little bit in my newsletter this past weekend, my Weekend Wisdom newsletter. And if you would like to join that distribution list, I will put a link in the bottom as well on how you are able to sign up for my newsletter. Yes, so I'm going to link this exact newsletter in the description below. Sorry, my guys were like, hello, you have the ability to link that in the comments. Why don't you just do that? I forgot that I could do that. So I can actually just put what I'm talking about this week's Weekend Wisdom newsletter in the comments. You can click on that if you want to read about energetic boundaries a little bit more, and what I'm saying as far as everything being energy, and a quote in there from Einstein. If you want to nerd out with me a little bit, you can read that. Okay, so energetic boundaries are when we take that same idea of assertion, of saying that we're going to express our needs, of saying that, hey, I have ideas too, and I'm going to take up space, and I have the right as a beautiful, precious, divine being on this planet, that I have rights just like everyone else, and I'm going to exert those rights by setting some solid boundaries. Energetic boundaries is doing the same thing, but with energy. So what do I mean by that? Well, a physical boundary that you could be setting, like on just a physical matter, could be a boundary with another person by simply saying, they ask you, can you pick me up at 3 p.m. on the dot from my job? And you just simply are not available for that. And so you say, nope, I'm not going to be able to do that. You might offer another suggestion. If you say, well, I can do it at 3:30, or you can say, I can do it on Thursday instead of tomorrow. Whatever that happens to be for you, how setting that boundary would go for you. But basically, you're physically saying, like, no, I'm not going to be able to physically be there and do this thing you're asking me to do. Where energetically, you would be setting a boundary on where your energy goes. Okay, so if we remember a little bit about some of my videos and my content, and if you're in any of my classes, and if you've already been getting emails from me and other content from me, you know that I'm always saying that everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is made up of energy. So that's why we start with energetic boundaries first. Okay, so matter is not actually just made up of matter. It's made up of matter and energy, particles. I'm going to get really sciencey. So moving on. When you are highly sensitive or empathic, you feel that request from energy more than anyone else, right? You feel that tug pulling you in all different directions always, whether it's your grandmother in another state, whether it's somebody on the internet that posted and nobody has responded or said anything under that post yet, whether it's obligations of your business, whether it's that you see spirits and you can actually interact with and communicate with spirits and you're a medium and those spirits are wanting something from you and they're wanting to interact with you, whether it's the energy of your dog, your pets, your plants that are calling out to you saying, hey, me, I need attention, I need to be watered, I need some attention, right? Everything is that request from the universe. And I do have a video about saying no to requests from the universe, and I can link that as well. So when you're setting up energetic boundaries, you're saying no to all of these things. And at least if you're not saying no, you're setting times, you're setting up time frames. And you're also saying that my own personal energy, which is really, really close to my body, usually, if I'm the kind of person that likes to shrink myself to make other people comfortable and is always trying to fulfill the needs of others and not my own, suffering from that self-neglect type of cycle. Your energy is very, very close to your body like this, and you're not used to letting it grow and expand and reach out the way that it deserves to be reaching out. So that's another way that you take up space by practicing energetic boundaries. So some examples, like I said, if you have some spirits that are bothering you, that you have those abilities to talk to and interact with spirits, one of the ways that you can set energetic boundaries with those spirits is to literally tell them out loud or very, very, very strong, intensely in your mind, using intention, that I am not available for that right now. Not available to be bothered. Check my office hours. These are my hours of sleep. These are the hours that I'm at work, and I will not be bothered by this energy. Don't worry. It's not mean. It's setting boundaries, and it's teaching them how to interact with you. You know that saying, we teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you all the time, right? By example and by what you're allowing and what you're not allowing. That's boundaries. So when you do that with energy and with spirits and with the universe and even your guides, you're doing the same thing. You're telling them what you will and will not allow. Okay. And so that's a perfectly acceptable thing to do. What happens is that as spirits having a human experience right now in this three-dimensional plane, in this dimension that we're in right now, we have something called free will. And so we all are governed by the laws of the universe, right? So the law of polarity, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, right? We all are governed by these laws, and because we're all part of the universe and we're all spirits and energy as well. The difference is that as a human having the experience that you're having, you also have free will, which the other bits and pieces that belong in the universe have to yield to. They're following the laws of the universe. One of the laws they have to follow is that they have to listen to you in your free will when you mean it, with intention, with authority. And that's what we teach, right? That's what I teach here is personal authority. When you do that, then you are able to command them to give you your space, to give you specific hours and time, to give you even downloads and information. If you've ever been trying to meditate and you're experiencing too much overwhelm from the visions that you're getting, or you're getting a download in the middle of working at the office, you're trying to do your work and all of a sudden here comes a download and bloop, 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 bloop. All of a sudden now you're able to see sacred geometry and all of the secrets of the universe are just coming at you in the middle of, like, you were trying to like cook in the middle of your kitchen and now you're burning things on the stove. Those are things you can set boundaries for. Those are things you absolutely are able to say, stop, hold up, wait a minute. I need you to give me my space. I need you to pay attention to my time and my needs and the things I have to get done. And I need you to give it to me in a way that's not so overwhelming that my human form can take and accept it. So that's an example of an energetic boundary. Those are two examples. So you can tell spirits, hey, no, 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 no. When I step into my altar space, when you see me step on my mat, or when you see me put on my ceremonious dress, or when you see me smudging myself and opening my circle of protection around me. When you see those things, and this is you talking to your spirits, to the spirits around you, that's when it's okay for you to come into my space. That's when you can get ready to have a conversation with me, when I'm allowing you into my space to talk to me. And that's setting a boundary with them. And then with your guides, you can say, okay, guides, I can receive downloads when you see me sitting down, smudged myself, I have my meditation music going, or I'm doing my Tibetan bowls. You see me some kind of way, some kind of ritual or ceremony, getting ready for that work. That's when you can start giving me downloads, and please give them to me in a way that my human form can accept. Okay, so those are two types of energetic boundaries. Another type of energetic boundary, this is a big one, especially for empathic, intensely empathic individuals, is that boundary between your emotions and the emotions of others. So not only do we need to practice telling somebody, hey, I'm not available to do this thing that you're asking me to do, but now you need to put up a boundary and a little bit of a barrier between you and their disappointment. And this is something that you're not going to have to do forever. You might see when you're looking this up is that as empaths and healers and highly sensitives, that we're working towards no longer needing the bubble, standing in your authority. And like I said, that's exactly what I teach. So I am going to tell you that we are working up to standing in your authority. The problem is that a lot of us, because we weren't taught this, because we weren't even taught that it was a thing that was happening, that it wasn't just all in our head and we weren't just crazy, that empaths were real, that being highly sensitive is an actual phenomenon that happens. We aren't taught any of these things, and we don't know how to like filter through these things and get to the point where we're able to like stand firm in our authority just yet. We're not even able to stand firm in our authority with our toddlers, right? Our toddlers are running the house. They're shack bully. They're telling us what it's going to do, what it's going to be, when it's going to be, how it's going to be, right? So we're still learning how to put that foot down and mean it, even with the people in our lives that we love, even with our jobs, even with that inner critic inside of our minds, right? So we're still doing all of that work. It's going to take a while for us to get there. So starting off by setting these energetic boundaries, and I'm talking, yes, by practicing your energetic bubble, by practicing having the white light all around you or the purple flame, asking your guides to put a circle of protection around you always, and give them permission, because again, free will, we need to give them permission. They can't act on our behalf if we're not giving them permission to do things. So we want to say, you have my permission to act on my behalf as a bodyguard against things that are going to harm me, or things that I'm not ready for, things that that do not have my permission to be in my circle of energy. So that's another tip, is you want to work really, really closely with your guides, asking them with intention, calling on them with authority, and having confidence that whatever you put out there in the universe, in your spirit team, that it's going to happen. Because if you lightweight, watery say, okay, I want you to protect me, and I hope that that's going to work, and that demons and stuff that I believe exist are going to maybe bother me, and they're going to jump on me and latch on me, but I'm hoping that you won't. Like, if you're saying it and you don't have all that full attention, and you don't have that authority in you when you're speaking it, then that is one way that you're going to water down your abilities. And that's not having your ultimate personal authority. So again, everything in the universe is energy, and it responds to the vibration of that energy. So if you are ringing like a tuning fork, I've used this example before. So bing, if I hit a tuning fork right now, it's going to ring at a certain frequency, and I'm only going to be able to attract and vibrate at the same vibration as the frequency I'm vibrating over here. So here's all the items around me that are vibrating at the same frequency that I'm vibrating over here. So if I'm vibrating at I don't really have faith in my spirit team that they can really protect me frequency, then I'm telling the universe to make that happen. Only give me things that I'm attracting in my experience, and my life experience, in my universe, that follow along with that idea, with things that are going to prove even more to me that I don't really have the protection of my spirit team. Okay, so you got to get really good at having faith and confidence in the things that you're saying. So it's going to take practice. It's going to take a continuous practice, but start with one thing. Start with one thing that feels really good and really easy in your mind and in your heart. So if that for you is the bubble, then practice your bubble. If you really, really sense in your gut that bubble around you is there, you can see it, like you can see your own egg of aura. You can make it permeable. You can toughen it up so where nothing can get in there. You are an impenetrable force when you want to be, and you can click into someone else's bubble when you want to interact with them and connect with them. You can actually feel the click happen, and you can also filter. I only allow you to get the information from me that I'm allowing you to feel, and the same, I'm only asking for the information I'm ready to receive from you to come through here. Slowly filtering that information out, using your bubble to start practicing that. Filling that bubble with a good feeling that you enjoy, like comfort or ease. Protection is another good energy. If that's the thing that you feel like that's real, and you can get that to the point where you have confidence in it, by all means practice that. If the things that you feel like you have confidence in is your angels or your guides or your spirit team, if you're working in the angelic realm and you know those angels exist and you know they got your back. If yours is your ancestors and you know that they exist and you know they've got your back, work with ancestors. Constantly ask your ancestors to help you with this, to help you set these boundaries, to tell the spirits that are bothering you to back off, to tell the energies that are pulling on you and tugging on your heartstrings and in your solar plexus to back off. If that's the thing that works for you, start with that. Its chakras is another really, really good way to start practicing your energetic boundaries, as well as claiming your ultimate authority. Because when you have a dominion over your chakras, you have dominion over your energetic space. So practice feeling the energy in your different chakras and toughening them, hardening them, softening them, getting them to the point where you're getting them in the balance. It's kind of like when you're tuning into the frequency of a radio or stereo. For some of you millennials or younger people may not know, I mean, not the elder millennials, but the younger millennials and the Gen Z, you may not know what I'm saying, but I'm pretty sure most cars still have a stereo where you can tune in to find the radio station, and you might be between two different stations. If not, try to imagine what I'm saying here. So you might be in between. The station might be on 103.4 and you're on 98.2, and as you start getting closer and closer to 103, you can start to hear it, and it's a little bit staticky and it's coming in clear, and then you pass it up. And then it's like, oh, I think I just heard it a second, but now I'm going too far. Let me tune back a little bit more this way, tune back a little bit more that way. And that's the same thing that I'm asking you to do in your chakras. Try going a little bit further into that energy. Try backing that energy up a little bit until you get right on that frequency that feels the most like you. It feels authentic. It feels confident. It feels like that is a beaming force that's beaming out of those wheels, of those centers of energy in your body. And you're able to use that to help push things back or pull things in, to filter things out, to feel yourself and your own energy, to separate someone else's energy from your own, because that's another energetic boundary, is to say, okay, I want to only feel my feelings. I don't want to feel the feelings of others. How do I start filtering those things out? So these are some different tips that you can use. Start practicing how you're setting energetic boundaries. Of course, you can use crystals, you can use sigils, you can use symbols. You guys will always see that I usually have on one of my evil eyes or some other kind of amulet of protection. For me, the evil eye that works against mal ojo. That's something that I was taught. And there's different ways that you can protect yourself. And as long as you give it power and intention and that confidence that it is working, because you are the creator being, right? We're like basically many gods and goddesses, maybe little deities, little versions of that, but in a human form, with the ability to create our experiences once we start taking that driver's seat back by actually stepping into our authority. I am Wyzdom DVine, shamanic healer, Reiki master, certified in both of those, ordained spiritual minister. I am a minister and ordained at being an officiant of ceremonies. What else am I? I am a boundaries and personal authority coach. That is my expertise. And I am also an instructor, NLP life coach. I have done a lot of things. I've been around and I've been very, very busy in a good way, probably like many of you. So if you would like to hear more content like I shared with you today, more about stepping into your empowerment and claiming your dominion over your own energetic space, more about things and helpful tips that are going to help us get through this crazy world as an empath, as a highly sensitive, as a gifted helper, I ask for you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell so that you get alerted every time I put out a new video, and also share this with anybody that you think might help. Join me and by subscribing to this channel. The next video is, in fact, we're going to start going into a little shadow work specifically for empaths, highly sensitives, and other gifted helpers. What are some shadows? And I have my top 5 that I have worked on over the years. I've had clients, I've had one-on-one sessions. I spent a couple of years as the shadow shaman, specifically shadow work shaman. That is one of my main gifts that I was born. I've had all kinds of people-pleasing cycles, trauma and abuse that I have healed through. And I just love the idea of helping others to do the same, because it was important to me. It was important that I had the ability to help others, and with my one-on-one sessions, and now with this channel, as well as my courses, to reach more and more people, because I want us all to be empowered and to really, really step into what is your authentic path. What is your culture, your lineage, your magic, your past lives, all leading you to this one moment? What do they all mean? What do they teach you? What is the power in that? So we go through past life work. We go through soul healing, karmic healing. We do a lot. So that's what this channel is going to be about. That's what my courses and my sessions are about. I am open at this moment for shamanic 101s via Zoom, and we can do card readings and shamanic sessions in there. I will go into shamanic journey and visit you in your, visit with you in the spirit realm, and we'll go into your past lives and your lineages, and meet with some of your passed away loved ones and your spirit guides, and have a talk with them and find out what exactly you are needing at this time over many subjects. Some people come to me to find out what they need for their business, for their love life and relationships. Do they know this person from a past life that's in their life? And also on their health and their money. So all of these different things we can approach in a one-on-one session. And then you can be on the lookout for my next classes that I have, that I offer as well. But in the meantime, we're going to have lots of fun on this channel as I continue to make these videos. Bear with me, because I'm still pretty new at them, and I know that I don't have like all the best, fanciest setup and equipment and stuff. So there might be some fuzzy or blurry videos here. Please be patient with that. I understand. Nobody wants to watch a fuzzy video, but you can listen. You can definitely still tune in and put your earbuds in and listen and just vibe with me and hang out with me whenever I make these videos. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in this time. I will see you guys next time. Much love. Wisdom out.